Hello, welcome to Retrograde, Episode 1. My name's Jack Marshall, and I'm joined today by Lysanne Fisher, Anthony Hobday, and James MacFadyen. As you can probably tell from the theme tune, today we're going to be talking about Super Mario Kart, but before we do, we'll go into a little bit about who we are and what we're going to be doing. So, Retrograde is a brand new podcast being very kindly hosted on the CSICON network. A big thank you to Brecky Thompson, the Chief of Arms over there, for letting us do this. Every 2 weeks, we're going to be looking at an old retro game. The four of us decided to get together in a room and basically chat about some of our old fondest memories of video games and basically give them a bit of scrutiny, see how they've aged well, see if it's just a nostalgia trip or if they're good games. And overall, we'll be giving a little grade at the end. So, without further ado, let's have a quick blurb of the game from Brecky Thompson himself.
Super Mario Kart is a cartoon racer developed by Nintendo's in-house development team and released in 1992 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The game features 8 classic Nintendo characters from the Mario universe racing across 4 cups over a variety of landscapes from the Mushroom Kingdom. The game was unanimously a huge success and became one of the key titles for the Super Nintendo console. Since then, we've seen 6 sequels to Super Mario Kart, as well as many homages and rip-offs in various forms.
Thanks for that, Brecky, and without further ado, let's get on with the show. And I guess before we should jump in, we should probably say who we are, because I guess you guys have never done a podcast before or anything like that. So I'll go first. So I'll say, well, hopefully some of you might recognise me from other CSICON podcasts. I'm a co-host on Geek Positive, and I'm also a guest on Moving On podcast. But I've got 3 people who have never done it before at all. So should we start with you, Anthony? Say hello, and who are you?
Hello, I'm Anthony. I actually just wandered in here looking for directions and was told to sit down and start talking about video games. Don't really understand what's going on, to be honest.
Right, I'm looking at his notepad over his shoulder and he's actually written that down.
Really?
Yeah.
And who was that just said that?
That was me, Lysanne, the token female.
that was me. And last but not least, we've got the man with the sexiest voice in the world.
Yeah, I was actually going to do a bit like Anthony did, but now I have nothing. I'm James.
I've taken the bit.
I cannot contribute to this discussion.
James, okay. But, and we're all keen games. But anyway, sorry, we should get on with Super Mario Kart. That's enough intro. Enough intro, isn't it?
I only got to say my name.
I think we should have more intro. Lysanne, did you have something more you wanted to say? You said your name.
Yeah, I only said, I know I'm here as the token girl, but I still have feelings, Jack. Like,
you're the first girl. We've got 7 podcasts on CSICON Network. You're the first female podcaster.
Ever.
I nearly swore then. That was alright, I didn't swear. That's actually quite a massive honour, thank you. I'll stop saying I'm the token girl now. I feel like I've been selected.
You're a real girl,
from the female race. I'm a real girl. I've been playing video games for 19 years. Well, that's when I got my Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Started off on my dad's ancient MS-DOS thing, playing Alley Cat. And Tetris, when there were only the black screen and the blue lines, and that was it. So that was when I was like 4. So yeah, quite a while now.
I started with Doom. It's been the worst game you could start on, to be honest, Doom. Not really, but as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, it was pretty bad. What about you guys?
Doom when you were 5?
If I remember, yeah, I remember getting Doom. I remember getting it on floppy disks, and it was terrifying.
I had Prince of Persia on floppy disk when I was like 6 or 7.
Anthony, what was your first console?
My brother had a Mega Drive, but he didn't let me play it very often. Still, enjoyable. No Mario Kart, unfortunately, but...
No, you had Sonic Racing. Or
yeah.
Like that. A terrible spin-off.
Definitely didn't pick up that one up.
Alright. James, what's your first console?
I think I had a SNES, first of all. My first game was I think it was Donkey Kong Country 3. It was fantastic. It's really surreal when you're like 5 and you're controlling this like really fat monkey in his pajamas jumping on alligators and stuff.
Right. Super Mario Kart. So, first thing you should say about the game, who actually played it when they were younger? Did anyone actually have this when they were like 6 years old?
I got it the year it came out for my birthday.
I did as well.
When I was 8. So, yes. And I still have the cartridge and everything.
You've got it right here. We can see it over in the corner.
I was playing it earlier.
Is that the same one that you've had for like 18 years or whatever?
19 years, yes. It's the exact same Super Nintendo.
Is it?
Yep.
And it still works?
Yep.
It's not yellow. It's not disgustingly yellow.
That's because I didn't leave it in the sun because I knew its worth.
But you smoke, don't you? And that makes it yellow.
Not when I was 8.
Right. Yeah, that would. Well, I don't know. You never know what happens. But That's true. What about you guys? So you guys had it when you were younger?
I looked this up earlier. I wasn't born when it was released, so no. I kind of jumped on the bandwagon a bit later.
It's going to be interesting. I think you're the youngest one out before it's here.
Yeah.
So you're going to be kind of a few of the games we look at. We're going to have games every 2 weeks we're going to be doing. Some of them you're probably going to have never experienced before. We're going to come back to now, which we'll go, wow, they're classics, and you'll go, it was terrible. That was an awful game.
I'm sure James's mother bought the cartridge for him, prepared for when he was coming out, Get it ready, it's like a legacy you can pass on.
Yeah, definitely. My mum's very considerate that way.
Well, we've all played the game the last week, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I actually haven't played it for a long time. Question, has it aged well?
No. God, no. No.
Really?
Really?
No. It hasn't. You were playing it today.
Well, yeah, it doesn't upscale well to a 47-inch TV.
Show off.
Well, yeah, I had to
Slip
get
that
it
in there.
I had to get it in.
alright.
How many
Okay.
inches?
47, James.
You got them all in.
It actually doesn't have enough pixels for the screen.
What happens then when you try and
It
play?
goes blurry.
Oh,
It does go. It goes all blurry around the edges of the characters. I mean,
A lot of emulators
for
have,
me,
like, filtering on and
it's
stuff.
it's nostalgia based. My enjoyment of the game, because I had it when I was a child. It means that I love it.
I think the reason that James doesn't think it ages well is because he didn't play it when it came out.
I
whereas
completely agree
The
with
three of us were playing it when it was out, when it was a big thing. We'll remember it. It's kind of timeless if you played it, I think, without having played anything like it before.
But does that count as it aging well if you have never played it? Does that still count as aging well? Like, if I watch a film and I've never seen it before from the 50s and I think it's rubbish, someone will go, well, you should have watched it back then. Does that count as aging well?
Well,
I
no,
think-
like I said, it's a nostalgia thing. Obviously, the game hasn't aged well because otherwise
That's all I'm
James
saying.
would love it. I think it has
true.
because it's nostalgia based for me. But I mean, that's the whole point of this, isn't it?
I think it has. Yeah, I agree with Anthony. I think it's aged well because if you have played it before, you're prepared for how hard it is to actually play. Did you struggle playing it? Out of
It's
interest?
not hard. I mean, you
you?
have left, you have right, you have go, and you have stop. Oh, and also you have like throw bananas,
But
which is
James,
great.
have you played it on a Super Nintendo? Or is this on an emulator?
No. I played it on an actual SNES before.
Right, okay.
So yeah, that's not. It's not that difficult.
I think it's quite a difficult game to
Really?
play.
Yeah.
Only
Last
because
time
the
you played it.
background, right? When you take a corner, it really slits and slides all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
It really does.
It is really like it makes you feel almost a bit ill compared to modern day racing. You're not controlling the character; you're controlling the background, and
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
swinging it like a boomerang around.
Yeah.
You mean like the parallax scrolling?
There's what do they call it?
Mode 7.
Mode 7. That was it.
Mode
Yeah,
7.
because I think the only game before it that uses Mode 7 was Pilot Wings. I think might have been.
I didn't do enough research into Mode 7.
I'd
But
never heard of Mode 7.
I feel like
No.
games, like racing games that came out in that era or before then on the PC and other consoles, you were more controlling the road than you were the car. Because
Yeah.
they basically kept the car central on the screen,
Yeah, I agree.
and the road turned when you pressed left or right.
That's very noticeable with F-Zero, which
Yeah,
is the
that's
launch
true.
title with the SNES, which I also have.
I'm not sure. Ooh. Well, they made when they,
F-Zero is exactly the same. The car stays in the same place, and you move the track around the car.
well, a little bit of trivia. When they made F-Zero, when they made Mario Kart, they were trying to make a split screen version of F-Zero.
I also read Wikipedia today.
I know. So
I read that as well.
Are you saying F-Zero isn't split screen?
It's not. It's,
It's
single
not.
player only.
It's single player only.
Oh, I did not know that.
and that's why Mario Kart is constantly split screen. So
Yeah.
even when you're playing it in
Yeah.
single player, you've got the big map at the bottom, which
Yeah.
now seems quite bizarre. I can't imagine playing it on a 14-inch screen and
No.
it's split screen. It just seemed. I don't know.
I guess
maybe
kids would sit that close when they were. So it'd be like a 60-inch TV when you sat
I've been
1
s-
foot away.
I've been spoiled. Yeah, that's the thing. But so if you were to give this game a grade out of 10, now if you were to give it a grade out of 10, yeah, out of 10 now, what would you give it?
See, I did mine because we're retrograde. I thought we'd be grading it, and so I've given mine a grade.
Let's do letters instead.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. Wait. But then wait.
With A star being the top, obviously.
So A star is a 10, A is a 9, C plus is... Oh man, this is getting really confusing.
Yeah,
Let's not
right,
do
okay, we'll do
pluses.
numbers then. We'll just do numbers then.
Yeah, all right,
That's
yeah.
fine. Okay. I gave it 9.
Anthony?
I don't think I can.
It's a hard
Douche.
question, I'll admit.
You can't compare a game this old with something in a modern sense and say this is what it would score now.
The whole point
you have-
of the podcast is to review our games
Anthony, I'm
and
gonna-
give them scores.
I'm going to save you
and-
some time here. Quantify the value of the game in one number between 0 and 10 right now.
Oh, I see how it works.
No, that's... just give me a number.
Oh,
It's one number.
Oh, there we go.
10, then 10.
10, perfect. Mario Kart is the best game that's ever been released.
But I'm saying that because it represents my nostalgia rather than...
Alright, well...
Go on, yeah.
I'm
you
giving
go
it a
first.
0 then, just to counteract that, because that is ridiculous. No game's
He's going for an average that you can agree with.
Yeah.
He wants to average our scores out to about 7.
I'd give it. Angie's a little bit right. I mean, if I was comparing, I'd give it about a 7. If I downloaded it as an iPhone game, I'd go, "This is pretty cool," and I'd give it about an 8 out of 10.
Oh, on an iPhone,
Yeah.
definitely.
My brother's
Yeah.
got it in his Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah,
and it was pretty sweet on there.
I've got it as well, and it is a bit of a nostalgia. But okay, let's talk about the influence on the legacy of Mario Kart, because obviously there's been how many sequels? Who can guess?
7.
Well, we're on 7 at the moment.
Or 6 sequels,
I just
guys.
guessed. Wow.
What's your answer?
Wait. Mario Kart 7 just came out, so it's 6 sequels.
There are 9. Because you're both forgetting.
The two arcade. The two
you're both
arcade.
forgetting
ones.
the arcade versions that were released, which you can play. There's one in London. They've got GP1, and there's one up in I think it's like Lincoln or something. It's got GP2. You ever played those? The arcade versions of Mario Kart.
I didn't know they
They
existed
have
until I
pack-in
played them.
characters with no arms that are driving.
Are they better?
They're really hard.
I think I played
so that's a
GP1.
no.
Well, when
That's
I
a definite no then.
when I played it, I remember it was really hard. And I guess because it's an arcade, you play £1, you get like 2 minutes, and then they kick you out again. So
Yeah,
that's
it
why.
needed to be hard.
They kick you out. If
Well, not kick you out. They don't come over and pick you up and go, get out.
rubbish
Go on.
arcade jack.
But that's how they work. But what about the influence on other generation of games? Because I made a little connection, which I wrote down here. Was this, and I'm probably going to get this completely wrong, was this first split screen game?
Yeah.
Was it?
Really?
I don't.
Can you think
what
of
else?
any before? Because I couldn't. I was sitting there going split screen, and I can't think of anything that was before this split screen.
Well, this is probably one of the first, but how could we find out? We need to look it up.
Yeah.
I did. I was googling it today, and I couldn't actually find anything. I mean, but can you think of anything? I can't remember anything on because I was thinking Bomberman. Nope, that was all on one screen. Then I was thinking Double Dragon. Nope, that was all on one screen. Contra, that was all on one screen. Gauntlet. I can't think of anything that was split screen.
I do remember reading that this was an attempt to make split screen multiplayer work,
There was.
but that might have been just on that generation.
I remember Plants vs Zombies. Zombies Ate My Neighbours.
Oh, that was
split screen.
amazing.
Now I don't know if that was before or after Mario Kart.
So, how long did you spend googling that question?
I probably spelt it wrong, to be honest. I didn't
Okay.
man. Lay it
'Cause
on us.
Go
having
on.
just done it now,
Yep.
and trusting Yahoo Answers as we inevitably
yeah.
always do.
Source of knowledge.
The first split-screen game ever made was Maze War, development of which began in
obviously Maze
1973.
War.
Maze War,
Maze War,
classic,
who can forget
classic.
a timeless
Classic one,
classic?
right?
I got a
And
Maze
then-
War tattoo. I can't even remember. I can't believe I forgot that one.
And then, I'm not sure of the pronunciation of this, but it looks like the second game was
Spasm.
Basim.
Spasim.
We'll do that.
Spasim.
Oh, yeah,
we
we
for our
did
shows.
that one.
Completed in 1974.
What was? Can you look up what Spasm was about? Let's take a guess. What was Spasm about?
I think most of these must have been PC games, right? Because they're 74. They wouldn't have.
Whoa. Okay. It's a 32-player 3D networked computer game
What?
involving four planetary systems with up to 8 players per planetary system. It was a 3D multiplayer game.
And they called it Spasm.
Yes,
I think it's like Space Sim.
Ah,
Guys.
You should have worked in their marketing department.
That's good. That's good.
But a
Yeah.
32-player 3D space game in 74?
Yeah.
That sounds nightmarish.
Atari.
That doesn't sound. Wait, it was on the Atari. Was there an
Platforms.
Atari?
Oh no, the Plato network.
The Plato Network.
Oh, maybe it was on
Yeah.
Super Computers.
is old. Yeah.
Oh, Atari had an account on the Plato network.
This is getting really
That's
complicated.
very. I mean, okay, so I
Forget
I think we're entering the
This
black
game-
yeah,
waters
this game-
of gaming.
Yeah, this game was not the first split screen. It was one about 20 years before. It did
But
30 players split screen.
Next week, maybe we should do Space Sim.
Maybe we should do Spasm. Anyway, okay. What about this one? I was thinking. I was quite interested thinking that this game had 8 selectable characters. I think after that, for no reason, lots of other games came along that had 8 players, including Street Fighter, Diddy Kong Racing, things like that. And it became a bit of a norm that when you had selectable characters, 8 became the kind of round number that people went for.
Well, it's perfect for tournaments.
Why?
Well, because you have your
why not?
quarterfinals, which is 8 players, and you have your semi-finals, which is 4.
Oh, I guess
and you have your
because then
finals,
the
which
next
is 2.
the next step up would be
Were-
16, and that would be too much for
Yeah.
most sort of
Were people
games at the
actually
time.
having Mario Kart tournaments?
Yes.
If they weren't, they should have been.
In Lysanne's household, they were.
I mean like real ones with like money. I don't mean like just.
Oh well, no, I was 8.
All right. Oh, I imagine like some grand sort of
You imagine
festival.
you imagine like a
they'll-
back alley in like a Chinese casino. And it's like a
Underground Mario Kart gambling.
Oh god, that would
Mario
be
Kart Con.
But Street Fighter had 8 players. And that was
It might be
Yeah, in
because-
tournament.
Well, 8 player. This might be a stupid reason, but 8 characters fits on 2 rows very nicely.
That's very true.
That's also true. Yeah, I don't know. Just one thing that always made me interested. Because then I remember when I think it was like Double Dash might have been the first one that said we'll have like a hell of a lot more characters and stuff like that. I think Mortal Kombat 1 had 8 to start with as well. Just a weird number. They all started picking it. I don't know why. It just came into the thing. Okay, what about actual games that ripped off Mario Kart? What's the best non-Mario Kart karting game?
Crash Team Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing
Diddy Kong
Crash
Racing,
Team
yes.
Racing.
is the right answer.
No, Crash Team Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing was
Oh,
amazing.
Anthony's not said anything yet. He's thinking.
I don't think I've ever played
Oh man.
a non-Mario Kart racing game because that's what I think of them.
It's harsh.
Why you got 7 titles plus 2 if you want to go to London to an arcade.
Well, I've got a list here. You got Sonic All Stars Racing. Did you not play that?
No.
That's quite really.
That was on the
Modern-
Mega Drive, wasn't
Oh.
it? You had a Mega Drive, Anthony.
Street Racer, which had the Frankenstein.
I saw
and the guy
that.
that done a flying carpet.
Wait, you just reminded me. I did play. What was the comic with the cartoon with the dog Muttley?
Wacky Races.
I played
On the
Wacky
Dreamcast.
Races on the PS1, I think.
I still have Wacky Races on the PS1.
Didn't play a lot of it.
It's
though.
rubbish.
Is it
it's
rubbish?
Awful. It is
Oh, okay.
awful.
Would you count? Would you count Micro Machines in? It's not kart racing. Well,
No, it's not car racing.
not
I did
kart
play
racing.
some of that as well, though.
No, it's not. It's not car racing. Well, could you say that it's pretty easy? But Mario Kart is probably the best ever kart racing game.
Yes.
What, the very first one or the
Let's
franchise?
say. Well, do we all agree that Super Mario Kart is the best one
No.
of the series of
No.
Mario Kart games?
No.
Yes.
Wait, what? I wanna.
Well, yeah, I think it might
Again, it's my favourite for nostalgia, but in
Listen,
terms
what-
of playability, I wouldn't say.
Alright, which one is the best one?
My brother didn't let me play on his N64 and GameCube.
Okay.
I have discovered the N64
good brother.
recently, I still prefer Mario Kart on the Wii.
Oh wow, that's not where I expected that to go. I was
I
getting
know.
to high five you across the table. No, the Nintendo 64 one is by far the best. It's surreal and beautiful, and I will never forget it.
I'm pretty sure Mario Kart Wii is the best-selling Mario Kart title because it's the best-selling game on the Wii.
Probably is, but I would more put that down to just gaming becoming so much more popular by the time, like just
Yeah,
becoming
and
more
it's,
popular over the years.
it's the novelty of the controls with that as well.
So
Because you
it-
plug your remote into the steering wheel, and
we'll put it this way:
I
Mario
realise it's terrible.
Kart, Super Mario Kart's global sales were 8.76 million, which very, very good at the time, but compared to modern day, I mean, it's still very good. But you get Call of Duty selling 50 million and stuff like that now. So
Wait, that was the original Super Mario.
that's the original Super Mario Kart. That's lifetime sales.
in
But also,
1992.
this is quite interesting. Out of all of the reviews for all of the games of Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart's the only one that's basically cleaned the board and got everything good. In terms, so Super Mario Kart on the SNES reviews were like Game Rankings 95% at the moment. All Game gave it 5 out of 5. Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it 8.5 out of 10 at the time. GamePro gave it 5 out of 5. Nintendo Magazine System gave it 9.2. But in comparison, N64 Mario Kart, which now I'm just trying to find my little notes, only got scores like 8 out of 10, 83 out of 100 on Metacritic, and someone really slagged it off. GameSpot only gave it 6.4 out of 10 at the time. I know GameSpot's not a great one.
You're going to call GameSpot to me.
But IGN gave it 8.1 as well, so it's not got lower ratings.
Well, I suppose if it's not populist drivel, then critics aren't going to love it. I'm sorry.
Well, it is very popular, so...
Not as popular.
It's funny that you should compare it to Call of Duty, because I brought up a comparison in my notes here
Go for it.
when I was doing some research.
Does everyone else have notes? I don't have notes.
I had
It's
maybe
alright.
Can I share yours?
He's just drawn a rude picture. He doesn't really have any notes.
It's a picture of a willy. No. What I noticed that Call of Duty does with the Modern Warfare onwards, and that Mario Kart has basically done, is they've set up this formula for gameplay, and they can't really change it because it's an incredible formula. Mm-hmm. So any changes they do make run the risk of either being worse or the same, because Mario Kart's basically the tippy top. Anything you add runs the chance of like watering down the experience. So I think the reason that Super Mario Kart got great scores across the board is because it did a really good formula. Same with Modern Warfare, and then every successive game, they have to see if they can tweak it while keeping it as good, and sometimes they do slightly worse. because that's natural. You start with a 10, you're gonna.
Well, I think Double Dash is probably the worst adjustment they made to it.
Really?
Yeah,
I love
thought
Double
Double
Dash.
Dash was awful. I remember playing Double Dash and I hated it.
Probably the first one I really got into though.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I had a GameCube, whereas I didn't have any of the. Didn't own the previous consoles myself.
I've just looked at the sequels as well, and I must admit, actually, Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance is probably the best one.
I played a lot of that as well.
Yeah,
but that was basically
just because it was a cleaned up version of Super Mario Kart, pretty much.
It was the same graphics, basically.
I did not know that was a thing.
It was on the Game Boy Advance, and that was a good game.
I had a Game Boy Advance at launch, so I guess that was my first console.
I did. That was a silly thing to buy at launch, so wasn't it?
Silly. You're being silly right now.
I put a topic down. Do you guys have any topics you'd like to bring up about Super Mario Kart? I see you've got notes, so I think you might want to mention things. Go on. I've got a few here, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Most of mine are all observations. I don't know where they fit in.
Is that a drawing of a ghost? No, wait, on the other side of that page.
Oh no, this is like a little guy with teeth.
That is like a realistic Pac-Man.
It's like an egg.
Okay, this is a radio, guys. So I'll maybe scan it in and put it as a little picture for fans to see.
I'm pointing it at the microphone right now. Can you see it, listeners?
Yeah, they're laughing their heads off at the picture. It's brilliant. What did you notice in the game, Anthony?
I'll tell you the very first thing I noticed, which struck me as very strange. Yeah, the title screen. They're driving along. Or it's something about the title screen, Jack. Mm-hmm. They're driving along on the little grass there, and it says push B to start in the background, and it's scrolling behind. It doesn't say push start in the middle of the screen to let you know what to do next. It says it in the background, and so it's not even on the screen most of the time. Obviously, people are going to try pressing buttons and everything.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really strange design decision when every other game, basically, on the SNES and the Genesis/Mega Drive, said push start to begin. This one had push B scrolling by slowly, where you might not notice
they had no sort of like guidelines for submission then, so they could almost kind of do what they wanted. But yeah, it is bad design in a way. And don't forget as well, you might be not thinking because B on a SNES controller is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which is now is bizarre. But you wouldn't, like, every other console after that put their main button at the bottom, like X on the PlayStation and A on the Xbox. So it's just strange because they've also patent patented those arrangement of letters.
Yeah.
So no one else can do that.
That's why the Xbox had to switch around.
That's why everything else has changed.
Yeah. Same with the D-pad. Nintendo patent pended.
I realised this earlier, like the push B thing. I think that's mainly because when you rage quit a race or a GP, then you are just hitting A to select through the exact same options you hit, B to go through the exact same options you went through last time. And so then you don't have to move your finger over to press start. You can just go B, and then you're back to exactly where you were.
So it's to facilitate angry and lazy people.
Yes, they anticipated rage quits before it was a thing.
Nice.
But when you press B on the title screen, you then press start to carry on. Or am I wrong?
You press B,
start to select them. Oh, okay.
You can press B or start according to the manual.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's very interesting. What else was I thought you were going to... Do you know what observation I thought you were going to make? And I thought about this laying in bed last night thinking that is quite disturbing. Koopa Troopa, who was removed from this game, replaced by Wario in the N64 version. There we go. Koopa Troopa is a turtle, and yet he throws turtle shells at other people in the game. That's quite disgusting. I was thinking that's like, Anthony, you getting murdered, and me attacking your murder with your skull. That's the comparison I came up with. Late at night
Yoshi lays his eggs as well and uses his eggs to hit people. So essentially they're his children.
Hang on a second. When you tried to come up with a metaphor involving humans, why was I the first person who thought of being murdered?
I tried even one of these two, just accepted it and went, yeah, that makes sense actually. Anthony's dead and I'm killing I'm killing your murderer with your skull. It's like payback.
In your imagination, I've been murdered. You chose me to be murdered.
I had a great dream that night. I fell asleep like a baby after that. I was like, oh, it's great.
I'm not saying my skull wouldn't be a great weapon. It would be a fantastic weapon, but I don't like the fact that I was the first person to pop into your head.
Depends on how you were murdered.
With a Koopa's... I was about to say skull.
Well, anyway,
shell.
So Koopa's throwing the bodies of his brethren at the guy who killed them.
Well, to be honest, he has a pretty good supply of them, because they're his buddies. The other ones have to probably buy him at quite a premium. He probably gets free Koopa shells.
That's true. This guy actually, I was going to make a point. Mario Kart, the Super Mario Kart was the best one for the green shells and red shells, because with the green shells, they would, because the levels were enclosed, they would bounce around all over the place. Whereas in the N64 version, as much fun they were, most of the levels they would just fall off after a while. They'd go off somewhere because of the 3D.
Yeah, but in the
Super
SNES
Mario Kart,
version,
they're going all over the place.
Yeah, but if you like,
and they'd keep going through the whole race as well.
It's not like random. Like I'll press the button and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this guy. It's gonna be screwed. And then he throws it and it's like off to the side and it isn't going anywhere.
It's whatever direction you're facing or pressing on the D-pad at the time.
So you can
throw forwards, you can throw backwards. You can do that with all the weapons.
See, on the Nintendo 64, there was none of this complicated aiming and throwing stuff. It was just driving.
Oh no, there's no skill involved.
Press the button, kill the person with his corpse or whatever, and it was easy and fine. And I didn't have to think about it.
Did they put the blue shell in N64 first, or was that later?
Blue shell was in N64. I have a bit more trivia of you. This was the only Super Mario Kart.
Talk about the weapons.
Super Mario Kart was the only one that had a feather where you could jump.
Yes.
It was also the only one that had coins.
Yeah.
So it made you go faster if you collect more of them, and if you get hit, obviously you lose coins. And which was very Sonic at the time.
Yeah.
And it was the only one that had the question marks on the floor. Every game after that had like the crystals that floated in midair.
And the question marks didn't renew when you go over them.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Once you'd gone over one and used it, then that's it. It was used up. It was done. They didn't regenerate.
That's what I thought was strange, because I had forgotten that the question marks were on the floor.
See, when I played another Mario Kart, after having played the Super Nintendo one for so long, I found it weird that they did regenerate. I was like, well, no, that one's been used. Why
I guess you played it a lot more than I have, the original. But because in Mario, they're obviously based on the question blocks from the platformer.
Yeah.
And they float in the air, just like the rest of them do in the rest of the Mario Kart games. But they put it on the floor, and I wondered why, so I looked it up, and someone suggested it might be due to technical limitations of having question marks floating in the air. But
they had some other, not lots, but they did have some technically 3D scenery. But they had the pots or the beavers that jumped out.
Yeah, the beavers jumped up, so I didn't really...
They're moles.
Oh, the moles, yeah, obviously.
They're not beavers.
Not beavers under the ground. No, they're moles.
Jack, you're wrong there, buddy. No, those aren't technically 3D. Those are 2D sprites that just rotate with the camera.
Yeah, but then...
They could have had that with the question blocks, is what Jack is saying. What I thought maybe is because the mechanics involving jumping and the little hop lines... meant that you could jump over the question mark blocks, but you wouldn't be able to do that if they were floating in the air in 3D, because you didn't jump high enough.
Well, I don't know why they even bothered to put in the button of hopping in the game, because the only benefit it's got, I guess maybe they did it on purpose, when you skid around a corner it feels like you can get a little bit faster if you hop around a corner.
Yeah.
But apart from that, there's no real reason to hop.
You use it to jump over barriers, to do shortcuts. You use it to...
In Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm hopping, not feather. Hopping.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Yes.
There's like an ice level where there are like barriers.
Oh, okay, actually, I do remember the ice
level. You can just hop over them.
So cool.
I think if you wanted to, you could also hop over the those speed up arrows on the floor. And also some of the obstacles, I think, like oil slicks, you can hop over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
You've been doing it wrong, Jack. You've been doing it wrong for years.
I wrote down a bit of trivia, then I rubbed it out, crossed it out, because I'm not sure if this is right. I think this is the only Mario game where you could look behind you.
No, I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean?
In the Nintendo 64.
I don't know.
On the SNES, you could press the L button, and the bottom screen would show reverse view.
Like your rear,
so you can see Donkey Kong lobbing bananas at you. I think that's the only Mario game that you could do that in.
No, I read that there was another game, I can't remember which one, that brought it back, the rear view.
I just think I was going to go and try to play the others, but I just couldn't remember. But I wrote it down and crossed it out, because that's probably wrong. But
I was really surprised when that first happened, because it automatically shows you sommes if someone's firing a weapon at you.
Yeah.
Even though there's nothing really... I mean, you can't like go, I'll go lefties and fire left at me. And it was... Did you know... One bit of trivia. Whatever character you pick, and I didn't even notice this, I've played it for years, whenever you pick a character, your rival's always the same. So if you pick Koopa, your rival will always be Yoshi. He'll always be the second place person trying to catch you.
Yeah. So I hated Koopa growing up. I absolutely hate it, because I'm always Yoshi. Always Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi's
and
the best
then
one.
Koopa was the bane of my life. And
I thought that guy was just really good at Mario Kart.
I googled it, and you did have rear view in Mario 64.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I should be in charge of this podcast, Jack.
But I thought
trivia has been mostly wrong.
Playing it from the perspective of just a SNES game, I thought it was pretty impressive that it could show you that behind the view.
Yeah.
Behind the kart view. Because that genuinely surprised me. I'd forgotten it happened, and I thought this is really impressive for a SNES.
I'd forgotten that Donkey Kong spends the entire game on the lowest screen, going around with both of his hands in the air in triumphant fists.
Steering wheel, yeah.
Not steering at all. And then when he overtook you, he was steering, but on the bottom screen, he still had his hands up.
Yeah.
There's some crazy stuff going on.
Even crazier, that's Donkey Kong Jr., not Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah, of course, I forgot that.
But then every game after that, he was Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Jr. just went off to bugger off.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Jr. is the old guy in Donkey Kong Country.
Whoa, what, Cranky?
Seriously?
Yeah, you don't.
No, Cranky is Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Cranky's the original barrel-throwing Donkey Kong.
No, in Donkey Kong Country.
No, he's not. No,
Don't even question
Donkey
it.
Kong Jr.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind here, Lysanne.
Yeah, no, they all grew up.
Donkey Kong Country is the main character in that is the grandson of the guy throwing barrels at Mario.
Oh, okay.
So who's Donkey Kong Jr.?
No, I think that's
Donkey Kong Jr. is Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Jr. was a completely different character. It goes Cranky, Donkey Kong Jr. is the family tree, and Diddy Kong just came along a lot later.
I don't think it is. I think it's Donkey Kong, it becomes Cranky, and then it's Donkey Kong Jr. as his son, and he becomes the main character in Country.
In Donkey Kong Country, Cranky tells stories.
Yeah, but I thought he was just talking about him, as a kid.
Well,
I didn't think he was talking about...
He references the games.
Does he?
Yeah.
Dear. God,
oh my god, you call yourself a gamer.
Oh, this is pretty bad.
This is getting heavy, guys.
Wait, can I just bring up the coin thing you mentioned? Because you ran through them pretty quick.
Go for it, sorry.
Obviously, this is the only game that has coins, right? I think they reintroduced them in Mario Kart 7 or
I don't
DS.
know. You've got it on 3DS, haven't you, Mario Kart 7?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you've not got it? Oh, sorry.
No,
okay.
I've got Mario
it.
Kart for the DS, but I don't have the new 3DS
Are
one.
there coins in DS?
No.
No.
Because I think they reintroduced it in one of them, but I never realised, I've been playing it for years, never realised that the coins make you go faster if you get 10 of them. I had no idea what they were for. I just thought, I don't care about these coins, because...
And also, if you have... No, that is actually Sonic. I was thinking if you've got none and you get hit, it slows you down a lot more. But
No, it does. It makes you spin out if you've got none and you get hit.
Okay. Well, I thought this was the one as well. I always remembered if you were skidding out in a Mario Kart game, if you hop, the character will whistle for some reason and then carry on. But that was in Mario Kart 64. That wasn't in the Super Nintendo.
Wait, the character whistles?
He doesn't whistle, but a little question mark comes out. And it will have like a little musical note in it.
Oh, he's like
so when you're
singing
skidding, like if you're in Mario Kart 64, when you're skidding, it will go like that, and then you hop, it will go and a little thing, and you'll carry on driving, so you don't spin out. Did you ever have that?
No, that wasn't in my copy of the game, Jack.
I didn't realise that singing stops a car from spinning out. I'm going to try that next time.
When I try it when I'm driving home and I crash into a wall and it never works, I'm like, oh, whistle out the window, nothing happens.
Hop the car.
So that kind of brings on the thing. How influential was Mario Kart been in real life?
Well, I'm glad you brought this up actually, because there is actually a video on YouTube which I've been told I can't play because it'll mess with the audio, so I'll email you the link. You can put that in the show notes.
We put it in the show
along.
notes, yes.
But everyone's probably already seen it, but it's that French guy who does real life Mario Kart driving around Paris. Have you seen that?
I have
He's there dressed up as Mario in an actual go-kart, driving around the streets of Paris, throwing banana skins out of his cart onto the real road.
He goes into a supermarket at one
and he does drive into a supermarket, yeah. It is amazing. So it has had real life consequences.
I think Super Mario Kart, for some reason, is one of those rare games that even people who aren't very good, even gamers, recognise it. For example, I don't know why, but my ringtone when I get a message is the start race noise. It goes dun 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 dun, that noise. That's been my ringtone. Anywhere that goes off in a pub, I'll hear people laugh or chuckle and go, oh, it's got Mario Kart and everything, and they just seem to know it. And I think it's very influential, and I think if you were to mention someone like what's a green shell, I reckon your average person probably would go, well, it's a weapon in Mario Kart.
Well, anyone who has ever played a Mario Kart game ever, which, let's face it, has been over the past 19 years that Mario Kart's been around, they will get it. But like my sister probably wouldn't. She'd have a guess. She was never into games, bless her.
She probably would say tortoise, to be honest. That would probably
Sorry, after you mentioned this, I've been thinking about it. There's a guy in France. No, wait, hold on. Listen. So, recently, there have been some... I'm going to get a bit sort of serious here, so bear with me. There have been quite a lot of murders and sort of violent crimes where they've blamed video games for having had some kind of effect. You said, oh, this guy played Grand Theft Auto and he went and shot this guy, so obviously it's the game's fault. But there's a guy in France who goes around driving about in a go-kart, going into supermarkets, throwing banana skins at people, and I've not heard about this.
He has been arrested a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does it all the time.
The video on YouTube says 2007. I can't remember if it was 2007 or 2008 when it was first uploaded.
He's still in
the funny thing I like
he has uploaded a sequel. I haven't watched it yet.
The funny thing I like about him is he won't just prepare banana skins. He'll eat the banana while he's driving and then just lob it over.
How many bananas does he eat? Just one or more?
He doesn't prepare them at first. He'll go, crap, I should have eaten this before I come out. But,
am I the only one hoping that in the sequel he hollows out a turtle and then greases up the bottom? and slides the
Throws
shell.
another turtle. Just
He
And
just
then
sits there eating
A
mushrooms.
little
the whole
beaver
time
jumps
as
on his
well.
face for a while. That'd be quite good. I know it's
Mole.
not a beaver. I don't care. When I was a child, it was always a beaver. I know beavers don't live down holes, but in my world,
They were digging beavers,
no
Jack.
jokes, people, no jokes.
oh man, Jack, you're making this.
I was going to back to serious gaming discussion. I would say Mario Kart, outside of maybe Wii Sports, has become one of the most popular casual games going.
Yeah.
And what's
Oh, of
interesting
course.
is whenever the Mario Kart games come out, including Mario Kart Wii, they get reviewed quite badly. They get trashed. But yet they go on to be very hugely popular. Mario Kart Wii got quite average reviews.
Oh no, it did. Yeah.
But it still sells in shops. 30 quid, still sells good units every week. Why do you reckon that is?
Oh, I know.
Everyone loves Mario Kart.
Wait, I've got a thing.
Go on.
Because the people who are buying it are just parents who see something colourful with Mario on and like, oh, my little Timmy, he's going to love this. And they just buy it for little Timmy, and he doesn't love it because it's rubbish, Jack. It got 7 out of 10 on Metacritic. It's not worth your time. But little Timmy doesn't get the choice because his mum, who's a complete idiot, by the way, has just gone out and bought Mario Kart. That's all there is to it.
Brilliant.
Anthony, I think you have a something to add, do you? No?
Yes, I do.
Go on.
First of all, I think you should ask Timmy what he thinks. Because we're making a lot of assumptions
wheel
here.
into me. I don't know why I said wheel into me. For some reason I thought he was in a wheelchair. Carry on, go on.
Timmy, who said that?
I think people review it badly because it stays very similar generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
So reviewers say, they haven't changed much, we should give it a lower score because of that.
Yeah.
But what they're actually trying to do is maintain the formula, which is classic and will always be. And so I think people enjoy it and buy it so much because of that formula, even though people are saying, it hasn't changed much, they should do something different. If they did something different, it wouldn't be the same game.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I put down, I don't know if you saw these show notes, but I wrote down a theory which I think now, I don't know if you guys are into your designing of video games, things like that. There is a method called adaptive difficulty, and this is when a game will adjust itself whilst you're playing. It will recognise your skill level and adjust itself. So Mario Kart, I think, is probably the best example of this.
Super
For example, all of the Mario Karts, when you're in
Didn't
eighth,
do it on the SNES.
yes, it did. When you're in eighth place, you're more likely to get a lightning than the person in first place. Now that's a form of adaptive difficulty. And if you notice that when you're in first, your rival, you could hit him with 4 red shells. He will speed round the course and always catch up with you.
Yeah.
And it also is, if you're racing multiplayer, you as first place will always go slightly slower than 8th place. He will be going a little bit, or she will be a little bit faster. And that's
I
called
always
adaptive
just thought that it
difficulty.
was some kind of clever algorithm they built into the game mechanics.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, but I didn't
But on
realise
purpose.
it was that responsive. I don't know, maybe I'm not understanding the
Well,
concept properly.
and if
But
you look-
I hate how they tweaked that later on in the games. Because when I'm winning on Mario Kart Wii, I get blue shell 10 seconds later, blue shell 10 seconds later,
Yes.
blue shell, and it's just constant bombardment, and it's just really annoying.
But I think that's why casual games like it a lot, because I'm going to get even deeper with you now. We're going to get into a little bit of psychology here. There's a thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which was developed by two psychologists in 1999, and it's the idea of the tendency for average persons to believe they're more skilled than they actually are at something. And Charles Darwin quoted it by saying, ignorance is... Well, they use it to quote Charles Darwin. Ignorance is more frequently begets... Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge.
Of course.
Which is good, and you can see it in a lot of Mario games, because I think, apart from Smash Brothers, Mario Party is probably the biggest one that has this sort of, and it feels, and when it goes wrong, it feels terrible because it's like a cheating mechanic where you feel like you're being cheated. So when you're in first, you could be the best. Like casual gamers won't notice as much, but a hardcore gamer who's in first place will notice it a lot more because they're like, for God's sake, I'm getting hit by every blue shell in the world. And same in Mario Party, you'll have 4 stars, and on the last turn, someone nicks 3 stars.
Only if you're rubbish, Jack. I am awesome at that game.
No, Mario Party is terrible, especially the CPU
Mario
will nick
Party
stars
8,
at the last minute.
It's awesome. I'm awesome at it.
And that's called adaptive difficulty. That's your little lesson of the week. But I think Mario Kart invented that. And lots of games use it now. You won't even notice, but there are lots of games will have little tips and tricks that they will tweak the gameplay as you're playing and make things harder or easier. I think Bayonetta did it recently. They made the game harder without you knowing while you're playing.
Crash Bandicoot 2 made it easier. If you died like 10 times in a row at the same point, then it just suddenly gave you another hoodabugger thingy.
Super Mario Galaxy is brilliant for it as well, because it will recognise if there's a hard part in a level, which they know you're probably going to die a lot, they will put a life just slightly out of reach. So every time you do it, you can either spend that extra 10 seconds getting that life, or you can just be ignorant, just run off and carry on, keep doing it. So they knew that, and that's cool. Again, that's like a balance of adaptive difficulty.
Surely racing games before Mario Kart had rubber banding.
But that's not what he's talking about. That's just that's the cheapest part of it. He's talking about giving the player some kind of better item when they're in last, which isn't as cheap.
Does rubber banding not count as
well, it's probably in the same
adaptive?
category, but it's like
What do you mean by
basic.
rubber banding?
The people in last go faster than the people in first.
Yeah. I guess it does. It just, I don't think at that time it wasn't. They did do it, but I don't think they purposely thought this will become a very common behind the scenes mechanic in video games. Yeah. But then later Mario Kart, especially the Wii version, do it horrifically. Like you're being like because they added more and more bigger weapons. Because in the first Super Mario Kart, the only one was lightning. Then in Mario Kart 64, they had the blue shell. Yeah. Then after that, they started adding like giant bullets and super. I always forget about the
machine gun.
Yeah, I forgot about the star as well. Actually, the star in Super Mario Kart, that was another kind of major. On a scale of the crappiest weapons to the best weapon, what was the worst and what was the best?
Well, hang on, let me just open this so we can all
the worst was coins.
The worst was definitely coins.
Oh, coins was rubbish.
I'm glad they removed that, because if you're in first place, you're getting coins all the time. I don't need these. I'm already in first.
So not Monopoly.
I don't need to go faster. There's no one bumping into me. Green shells every day.
Are you kidding me? The lightning?
No, I mean in first place, you can't get lightning.
Can you not get it? I thought it was
I'm pretty sure
you don't get lightning in first place.
Okay.
No
I'm pretty
way.
sure they've removed it from the pool of possible. That would be unfair.
This is also
right, it's going to take me a little while.
The only Rainbow Road in a Mario game that didn't have sides. And I always remember I was always really angry that later Rainbow Roads had sides on them. Rainbow Road on the Super Mario Kart on the SNES is so hard to get
it's ridiculous.
because there's no sides.
Yeah.
But then I was surprised when the rest of the Rainbow Roads did have sides. It was like, well, why are you making this easier? Oh, there's all the items. There we go.
Alright.
Sorry for the people who can't see, which is everyone listening.
I'm sure most people can probably remember most of it.
That's,
Okay, let's see,
that's
we've
the
got-
original manual that came with my copy of
Ghost.
Super
I
Mario
forgot
Kart.
about the Ghost.
The
one.
Ghost!
Yeah.
The Ghost was the best one.
That's not in single player though.
It's not in single player. You can only have Ghost.
I think it is.
It says it in the manual that it's not.
I think it is though.
But it says in the manual that it's not.
I'm right, the manual's
No, because
wrong.
it only came along when you had 2-player, and you basically would steal off of the other person and whatever they had. So you could use it in battle and any of the 2-player GPs. Because I used to steal stuff off my brother all the time. Hi, Alex.
I always wrote another bit of trivia, which I guess you guys are probably going to correct me if it's wrong. I think this is the first ever Mario game to feature bananas.
What?
Well, they must have come in from Donkey Kong, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Surely
But
Donkey Kong used them.
I don't think
we had
Donkey Kong ever had
barrels at the
bananas.
very
He had
beginning.
barrels. Why did they not do it? Donkey Kong throw barrels.
Well, a barrel on a go-kart track?
Well,
What
they've
are you
got
on
red
about?
shells
That's
and stars
insane.
going on.
Yeah, like that part is insane, but like the dinosaur riding about in a go-kart, casting thunder from the heavens on an Italian summer. That's fine. That's plausible, Sam. That's totally
Completely
legit.
plausible.
And this
Completely
is,
plausible.
this is another bit of trivia, which we all going to enjoy, a bit of alcoholism. In the Japanese version, when the characters were at the podium at the end, which I always got a little bit sad that they explode the giant fish that flies over.
I got a bit sad that there was a giant fish flying onto my computer.
And it never looked happy. It was like, ooh, and then they exploded. But in the Japanese version, when they had the champagne, the characters would down it. Actually put it to their mouth and go, and down the champagne.
And they removed that from
But
the...
Nintendo of America came in and going, whoa, you know, we can throw red shells at each other, but let's not have alcohol on the podium. So they changed it, and they just added an individual element for each one of them. Remember, one of them had
No,
one...
they always have a bottle.
Yeah, but they don't drink it.
Oh, no, they don't.
They one of them has like a plant grows out of it, another one like throws it in the air and stuff like that. There was one that had a plant that grew out of it, wasn't there? Is that just me going nuts?
I can't remember that.
I don't remember that, but yeah.
Pretty crappy pattern
I'm sure it
champagne
happened,
bottle
though,
there.
Jack. I'm sure it happened.
I thought it was a lot better because in the Nintendo 64 version, there would be the 3 people who came in first, second, and third, and then like have this whole celebration going on, and then there'd be the guy in fourth, off on his lonesome, like out in the middle of the countryside, and then he'd explode and he'd like fall down into a deep dark pit or something.
So...
Well, that did or didn't happen?
No, it did happen. That
Did
was
it?
Yeah, it was in the game. Did you play it?
On the Super Nintendo?
No, on the Nintendo 64 version.
Oh, right, yeah, no, I haven't seen that then.
Oh, well, you're missing out.
So, this is a kind of... We're getting near the end of the podcast. We're up on 44 minutes.
Wow.
So, I know. So, I'm going to end up on this. See if you agree with this. Guinness World Records ranked the game at number 1 on a list of 50 top console games of all time. That was a couple of years ago. IGN ranked it 15th best game ever in 2005. Edge gave it, IGN again gave it a 23rd best game ever in 2007. Edge ranked it as number 14 in 2007 of the top 100 games of all time. Official Nintendo Magazine put it as number 13 of the greatest games of all time. And just last week, a website called PC Authority put the game at number 2 in their top 25 all-time top games. Is it that good?
Well, the people writing those things are probably around our age. I'll say us, not James, because he's too young. And so they love it for the same reason we do, which is that it was one of the first games we ever played, and it was awesome, and it's the nostalgia factor. I wouldn't necessarily rank it up there if it was to come out today. There's no way it would be up there. No way it would be up there.
A lot of them put it in there because of. I don't think it's one of the greatest games ever. I would probably put it on my 30, but if I was making a list of the most influential games, it would be.
Oh yeah, it'd be up there.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
Everyone talks about
created a
it.
genre.
Everyone talks about it being massively influential, but it's pretty much only influenced a few rubbish knockoffs and more Mario Kart.
No. But don't forget, this was the first game where when I remember when it came out, I was a bit like, this is a bit weird, because it was strange. No one had done yet. Well, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but no one had done yet a game where characters from the one universe all came together and did something completely different. For example, I remember thinking Bowser racing Mario. That's ridiculous. And then after that, everything followed. You had Mario Tennis, Super Smash Bros. Melee, arguably, and they're doing PlayStation Heroes or something like that.
All-Stars, All-Star Royale.
All-Star Royale, yeah. And that arguably that wouldn't exist unless Mario Kart did it. And I remember when they did Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, I was like, really? They're going to have Mario racing against Bowser and Donkey Kong and stuff?
Yeah, I just accepted it without question.
I was angry. It went against my... something about Bowser. And then the worst ones are the Sonic ones, where it's like, wait, Sonic's going to get in a car and race when he could probably just run the course. Why would he not just run around?
It's unrealistic.
See, I didn't even know Sonic did racing games.
Well, that's the legacy we can ignore from Mario Kart. But I think the positive side of Mario Kart's had probably a bigger legacy than maybe any other game, and I think that's why Guinness Book of World Records ranked it number 1.
And I think that's quite a nice little note to end the podcast on. Thank you for listening. You can find us if you want on Twitter at Retrograde. You can join us on Reddit at the subreddit CSICON, where we'll be posting all the show notes, and feel free to post anything you want to talk about. We'll be back. Oh, and you can drop us an email at retrograde@CSICON.org. That's CSICON.org. Please drop us anything you want to talk about, anything you want to know. That would be great. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Gunstar Heroes, which, Anthony, you've chosen. And very quickly, any reason why you've chosen Gunstar Heroes?
It's one of the most fun run-and-gun platformers on the Mega Drive. I had a lot of fun playing it when I was a kid, so I figured it'd be a good title to revisit, because I think it'll still be one of the most fun platformers.
Is it one of your favourite games of all time as well?
It probably is, yeah.
If we trash it, are you going to get really angry?
No, I'll just know that you're wrong.
Oh, man.
I'll be comfortable in your wrongness.
Have you guys played this game? Because I've actually
I've never heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it because it was a Mega Drive and I was a Nintendo boy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we had the Mega Drive.
Nintendo girl.
So for you guys listening out there, thanks for listening. Obviously, make sure you play Gunstar Heroes for our next show, which will be in 2 weeks. And thank you for listening. Bye-bye.